welcome back. Vegas Unwrapped. You know where I was a year ago today?
Yes, you're in the hospital.
I was in the hospital. Speaking of hospice care.
Speaking of hospice care.
Right. 1 year ago. Well, it was actually 1 year ago yesterday, but today's the date of August 28th.
Right.
And I got my bout of cellulitis.
That was amazing. You know, it's kind of a lead-in question. Not that his situation was life-threatening. However, a lot of the, or at least it didn't seem so.
Like I was one line in the hospital bed for 17 days.
My point on this is, with hospice, many times it's a sudden thing that happens to somebody, and that's where they're lost, right? Mm-hmm. Because they don't know where to turn to. So again, by educating the public rather than anything else is the best way to get to that. I mean, you know, certain diseases, you know, you've got the time, but man, heart attack, boom, stroke, boom, you know, accident, boom, and the next thing you know, you need some sort of help, and you have nowhere to turn to because you don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. You find that happens a lot in your situation with the number of clients that you have?
Absolutely. It happens all the time. That's why education is so important with the families, even elderly people. I know it's a subject that they don't like to talk about, or even their children. It's just something they don't want to think about. They don't want to touch on it. But just like you said, it's better to be prepared and know what's available to you before something bad happens, because a lot of the times that situation does arise and someone ends up in the hospital and then they just don't know what to do. So it's good to know all of your options.
We had a question come in during the break through Facebook from Kelly. You mentioned volunteers. Mm-hmm. What do the volunteers do in the hospice environment? What kind of volunteers do you have, and what do they do to accomplish their volunteerism?
They're mostly for companionship.
Okay.
They'll go out, sit with patients, play cards, watch TV, play games, just, you know, be there to converse with them. We also have some volunteers that have certified dogs, so we have the pet therapy. We're just getting now into aromatherapy, and the volunteers help out with all of that.
Okay. So a lot of hands-on kind of, like you said, friendship, companionship sort of stuff.
Absolutely. There's no clinical. They are not, you know, lifting patients or moving them around or helping them.
I couldn't see Kelly injecting anybody with anything, unless it was a margarita or something. You know.
However, I can tell you it's got to be a very, very rewarding thing.
Sure.
As a volunteer to do things like that. We're all about that, giving back to the community, and you know that's something that I didn't realize that was part of this until tonight. So good job on that one.
Yeah. And they're all checked. I mean, we do background checks on all of them. They go through a training process. The only difference is, you know, they're volunteers instead of paid employees, but there is a huge training process, so it's not like you're having a stranger that we haven't checked out coming into your homes.
So, in terms of a background check, what would you find that would disqualify somebody from being a volunteer? Obviously, a criminal record, but is there anything else other than that would give you a sign that maybe that might not be a person that you'd want to have?
Well, the thing is between the background check is obviously going to check their criminal background and those kinds of things, but in the training process that they do, you know, you get a good feel of people in that training process and giving them different scenarios and different situations that they would be in and how they would handle those situations.
That's really good, because you know you never want to put somebody into a situation and it turns out that it backfires on you.
Exactly.
You know, because a lot of bad people out there.
You got the potential some big liability issues.
And I'm also thinking of, you know, again, I'm sure we're dealing with 80% senior citizens in this capacity. Mm-hmm. You know, those are the people that would be most available to be taken advantage of by somebody.
Definitely.
So that's an important piece too.
Definitely.
Well, and to kind of add to that, I think that sometimes, like you said, hospice is tough, but it's very rewarding. And sometimes there's just people that can't handle it. It's too much for them emotionally or things like that. And with our volunteer program, Mary, who heads that, she really sits down with people and tries to find a good fit for patients and families. So like Lori said, you know, we really try to match people with someone that they get along with and they feel comfortable, in addition to, you know, all of the training and background checks that we do as well. So
yeah, you're not going to put someone into a situation where they're going to fail.
Right.
At least, you know, try to do your best and not have that happen on both the volunteer side as well as your patient side.
Definitely, because there's people's personalities might clash, different things like that, and so you do want to work hard to make sure that those
Absolutely.
those situations.
Now,
are
it
taken
would
care of.
appear that you would do the same type of background check for your clinician people as well, right?
Absolutely.
Even more so, or because they're really handling the patients, and
And it's different because they're licensed.
Right.
So they go through their license process as well, but then they have the federal background check as well and state background checks. They're fingerprinted, they're drug tested, so we do have a very strict policy on all of that, and so we're not sending people into your home that is unsafe.
And I'm sure because of that, you've never had any bad incidences like that, right?
Absolutely not.
See, there you go. And that makes sense. Boy, that certainly takes the mind off for the actual patient themselves, because if you can tell that patient, listen, everybody that's coming through here is going to be absolutely 100% safe for you.
Right.
I like that very much, Aaron.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nicole, when you're out and about promoting hospice care and, of course, compassion care, what are some of the common questions that you're asked when you're out and about?
A lot of, again, misconceptions. A lot of people don't understand that hospice is a service that we provide. It's not a place that you go. So right off the bat, people think it's a place you go to pass away. So we're constantly educating that that's not the case. It's a service, and we come to you in your home. So whether it's a private residence, again, an assisted living, a nursing home, a group home, wherever you call home, we come to you to provide our services. Another thing that's very important to get out to people is that we're not just there to support our patients, but the family, caregivers, everyone involved. We have great support services as far as spiritual, counseling, bereavement. We offer up to 13 months when someone passes on our service. So we're really there to support not only just our patients, but everyone involved that is attached to that loved one.
That's in the process.
Absolutely.
Right.
And there's absolutely nothing more difficult than being a caregiver to somebody that you love, knowing that the end is coming. It's got to be the hardest thing in the world. I can't even imagine what one person must go through knowing that they're in that situation. And yet, how many thousands, millions of people are in that caregiving role doing the best they can. And it's great that they do have that supportive service from Compassion Care, because I think that's going to make a world of difference, right?
Well, and that's why it's so important that if someone is appropriate for our services, that we get on board with them sooner rather than later, just because of all of the benefits and all of the support that we can offer throughout the time that they're on our service.
Sounds good.
Wow, it sounds tremendous, actually.
Phone number 702-636-0200. Compassion Care Hospice. They're online at CCHLV.com. Now, are there compassion cares across the country?
No, this is the
This is
only
the only
one.
one. I just want to make sure people understand that.
They haven't been syndicated, just like Vegas and Rap. That's right. We haven't been syndicated yet.
We haven't moved that level yet.
Maybe we'll move that way together, right?
Okay.
Exactly. Great. Exactly. We've been called other things, just not syndicated yet. So anyway, give them a call. You can talk to Heather. You can talk to Nicole. They'll direct you to the right people. If you know somebody here in town that can use the service, if you're in town and you know somebody can use the service, give them a call. Hospice care in today's society is a very important feature that I think people are going to begin to really take advantage of in the coming years. And this is why, because it's just the best way to take care of whatever lifestyle you want to, and be in as much comfort as you can and doing it right.
The other important piece of that is the population of the, let's just say 60 plus, has increased every year for the past, 50 years.
Right.
And, now the baby boomers are now my age. Oh, my God. And it's important that these people also have the benefit of the service that you provide. Well done, ladies. Very, very well done.
Thanks for coming in. We'll see you next month.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll schedule another time for you next month. Maybe bring in some of the technicians and some of the folks who are out and about providing the care, and we'll get kind of get in depth with them.
Absolutely.
See what they do. So, thanks again, ladies. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, we're proud to have you as a sponsor and somebody that we can bring on every month, because we truly believe in your service.
Absolutely.
And we'll keep spreading the word.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped here on VegasOnNetRadio.com. Coming up next, the big announcement. Who's going to get the show tickets? Mr. Cash.
Oh, yes.
We got a couple of people picked out. We may give away more than one set.
I think we can.
Yeah, because we got a lot of them.
We sure do.
Courtesy of Sandy Castell and Mike Leonetti, we appreciate it. And also, a very special shout out to one Kelly who's listening at the top of the hour.
Oh my God.
Vegas Wrapped. We'll be right back.